Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into how your physical activity actively alters your internal chemistry to solve one of aging's absolute most frustrating problems. And yeah, I'm talking about poor sleep. It's a really fascinating look at the actual biology of rest, using data straight from the latest medical research. Basically, we're going to bridge the gap between exercise endocrinology and clinical sleep studies to uncover a rather unexpected solution to your sleepless nights.
So, let's kick things off with a pretty counterintuitive question. What if physically exhausting your muscles is actually the ultimate biological key to resting your mind? You know, we've all been told a million times to practice good sleep hygiene, sip some chamomile tea, or just wind down before bed, but the science we're looking at today suggests the real path to deep, restorative sleep might actually require you to break a serious sweat and really challenge your body.
Section 1. The Aging Sleep Crisis.
To understand the solution, we've got to look at the stakes here. Family doctors see about 5.5 million patients every single year specifically for debilitating insomnia. Just think about that number for a second. Millions of people. The research tells us that our sleep quality naturally takes a nosedive as we age. Somewhere between 30 and 48% of seniors complain of daytime sleepiness, and a huge chunk of them are dealing with actual, diagnosed chronic insomnia. It's a massive burden, not just on us individually, but on the whole healthcare system.
And this illustrates exactly why this matters so much. Insomnia is not just about feeling a bit groggy the next day, right? It's a direct gateway to severe, life-altering health issues. We're looking at a serious domino effect here. Sleeplessness strongly correlates with depression and anxiety. It actively contributes to metabolic syndrome, hypertension, and even heart disease. The data even links it to cognitive decline. This is exactly why finding an effective non-pharmacological treatment, one without all the toxic side effects of popping sleeping pills every night, is absolutely crucial.
Moving on to Section 2, your internal chemical messengers.
Okay, so let's get into the biology of how exercise actually fights this crisis. During physical exertion, your endocrine system acts as your body's master control center. It specifically uses what's called the HPA axis to manage physical stress. As the research notes, your hypothalamus acts as this central hub in your brain, essentially linking your nervous and endocrine systems together. It kicks off these complex hormonal cascades that prime your body to adapt to whatever physical demands you're placing on it.
Now, what's really cool is how these specific hormones step up to bat. They act as your body's chemical messengers, mobilizing your energy and making sure crucial tissue repair happens during a workout. Adrenaline and cortisol jump in to manage the immediate stress and free up your energy stores. Meanwhile, insulin and glucagon are actively regulating your blood sugar. And crucially, this is the big one, growth hormone and testosterone step in to coordinate tissue repair and build muscle. So they aren't just making you sweaty, they're literally rewiring your metabolism.
Section 3. Acute versus chronic adaptations.
It's really important to understand how this builds over time. A single trip to the gym gives you an acute, temporary hormonal response, just a quick fix to manage immediate physical stress. But long-term training, that creates chronic adaptations. It permanently upgrades your overall metabolic homeostasis and cardiovascular health. It's these long-term adaptations, the improved baseline efficiency of how your body regulates its hormones day in and day out, that actually hold the secret to fixing chronic issues like insomnia. Your body just becomes a pro at maintaining its own internal balance.
Let's look at Section 4, the exercise prescription.
Knowing that physical activity fundamentally changes our biology, researchers wanted to figure out the ultimate prescription for insomnia. So, a massive network meta-analysis evaluated 5 specific categories of exercise. Think of it like a therapeutic showdown. We've got aerobic exercises, like swimming and cycling, strength exercises like lifting heavy weights, balance exercises, flexibility routines, and finally, combination exercises that mix a bit of everything. The big question is, which one of these actually wins the race for better sleep?
Section 5. Crunching the sleep data.
Now, they definitely didn't just guess here. The researchers systematically reviewed 25 incredibly rigorous, randomized controlled trials, covering a massive group of 2,170 older participants. They started with over 1,600 potential records and painstakingly filtered them down to only the highest quality trials that met strict diagnostic criteria for actual insomnia or poor sleep quality. And by mapping out all these different interventions, the researchers could directly compare the therapies against each other. They used the gold standard for measuring sleep, which is called the Global Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. It's this highly respected tool that uses 19 self-rated questions to calculate precise scores for things like how long it takes to fall asleep, how long you stay asleep, overall efficiency, and even daytime dysfunction. It allowed them to see exactly which regimen outperformed the rest.
Section 6. The surprising sleep champion.
Okay, so here is the massive plot twist we've been building up to. When they crunched the numbers, strengthening exercises absolutely dwarfed aerobic exercises. They used these things called sucre values, which essentially just measure the probability of an intervention being the absolute best option available. And guess what? Strength training scored a mind-blowing 94.6%. It was by far the superior choice, easily beating out sleep education at 81.4% and leaving aerobic exercise way behind in the dust at just 67.3%. No way, right? So the takeaway here is that those chronic hormonal adaptations from lifting weights, they are actually your body's single best biological defense against poor sleep. It totally flips the common assumption that you just need to do a ton of cardio like a long jog to tire yourself out. Sure, aerobic exercise definitely helps, but actively challenging your muscles against resistance triggers the absolute most potent endocrine response for regulating your entire sleep cycle.
The data from this meta-analysis is just overwhelmingly clear. If you want to see the most clinically significant drop in your insomnia symptoms, you have got to focus on building muscle. The researchers firmly concluded that strengthening exercise isn't just giving you a marginal tiny improvement. It significantly improves sleep quality well beyond standard clinical thresholds. It is literally the premier prescription for older adults seeking real, deep rest. So, I'll leave you with this final thought today. Knowing what we now know about your body's chemical messengers, the sheer power of those chronic hormonal adaptations, and the hard data on sleep quality, are you ready to switch up your routine and lift your way to a better night's rest? Because it turns out, hitting the weights might just be the exact thing you need to finally put your head down and truly sleep. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this completely changes how you look at your next workout.